y'all know that I was going to incorporate the Jobber software into my into the business, you know. And what I was going to do is they was having a sale, and the sale was like, you know, 40% off or whatever, you know, on the annual thing. So the sale was going to be on Friday, you know, Black Friday, you know. So they have 3 plans. They got what they call the core plan, and maybe I'll put a picture of the plans up here. They got a core plan that is $69 a month. They got a sale right now, and it's like $37 a month if you pay it monthly. If you pay it annually, it's like $588 for the year, right? And that's the bottom, just the core introductory core plan. You know, it's you know, their bottom plan, okay? And keep in mind, right now, I'm paying about $32 a month for the software I got. And it's not the most efficient or anything, and it's not the best software, or, you know, but I've been using it for about 6 or 7 years, and it's, you know, it does everything that you need it to do. There's a few more steps maybe that they could streamline, you know, but I'm only paying $30 a month, right? And if you pay a year in advance, you can even get it cheaper than that. So last week, when I was talking to them, to Jobber, you know, there's a few things in my software that I would like to streamline. And, you know, it ain't, you know, software works and everything, and I mean, you know. So back to Jobber. So Jobber software, they got the core, and the regular price is $69 a month, but right now they have it on sale for $37 a month. It's pretty good savings, you know. That I see that number, and I'm thinking, well, hell, I'm paying $30 a month now. So, hell, I'd be willing to, you know, to try the Jobber software. Okay, I'd be willing to try the Jobber software, you know, and I would be willing to invest in a year in advance, right? So that was my thinking. So, and that was even after I had a call with them. You know, we had a Zoom call last week. I was on the phone for about an hour and a half, and she was going over everything, and a great sales girl. I mean, you know, their team is, I mean, if their software is half as good as the team they have pushing it, it's going to be, it's good software. I believe it's good software. And I'm not saying it's not worth it. And this is no dig at Jobber, okay? Not at all. This is just me voicing my concerns to you guys, right? That's all I'm doing. And I don't know. Well, let me go and tell y'all a story. So, with the software, they got, let me go back to it. I had to cut this video up, man. So with the software they got, and I'm talking about the non-sale price. So the bottom one is $69 a month if you pay monthly. If you pay annually, you know, you get a better deal. Of course, you got to pay that up front, and that's kind of what I was going to do. And with the sale and all, I was going to end up paying like $600 for the whole year. Okay, for the core, what they call the core plan. And then they have the next plan over is regular $169 a month. On sale for right at $100 a month. Okay. So, you know, and it does a lot of cool stuff. You know, it does a lot of cool stuff. It tracks you. It can track the vehicles. It can track, you know, route density and all that. I mean, it has a whole lot of features, you know. And then they got the one that is up above that. And maybe I can explain, you know, some of the key differences in the bottom one and the middle one. Well, one of the big differences is it's got the GPS and all that, okay? And then it's got up to 5 users. So it means 5 people can be on the system at one time. Well, I don't really need that, right? I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm not, I'm not saying it won't ever be like that, but I don't need that right now. But let me tell y'all, and I don't even want to go into the $300 plan because that was never even on the table. And I'm not saying it's not worth it, because it probably is if you're in the right spot in your business. I mean, I would imagine, I'm sure that it is, right? So the core plan is, and when you think of the core plan, that's the bottom plan. I think, okay, it's software for your business, scheduling and all that. It does all that. But the one thing it does not do and does not allow you to do is it won't track your expenses. Now, what limited business knowledge I have, business savvy I am or not, or whatever, I mean, I don't even know why anybody would even if they're a legit business, would even contemplate a software that you can't put your expenses in, because that's pretty critical, man, if you ask me. I'm just saying. And so I tried to talk to the girl last week, and she was, it was all good, and so I was going to pull the trigger, yesterday or today or Friday or whatever. As soon as the sale went up, I was just going to pull the trigger, and I was going to try them out for a year up front. And so I got to looking at the plans, right? I said, well, hell, I don't need 5 users. I don't need this. I don't need that. I'm just going to go in on the bottom floor and kind of see how I like the software and everything, and kind of see if it's something that I want to, grow into, right? So I'm looking at all 3 of the software. Well, I know I'm not going to get the most expensive one. I only got 3 plans. So, and of course, the one in the middle is the biggest sale that she has, that they have, is the most popular one. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But if you're gonna, if and I'm talking about for me, I got a disclaimer. If I'm gonna try software, and this is just my thinking, people can do what they want, say what they want to say. If you're gonna try new software, if I'm gonna try new software, and I have software now that is running, I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. I mean, it might not be the best, but it does what it's supposed to do. And I'm going to make the jump over from my software to Jobber, and I'm just going to go in with Jobber at the bare basics, And at the bare basic for Jobber, the full retail is going to be twice as much as what I'm paying now, right? So that's, a big deal, right? Because what people are not understanding, and what I just couldn't get the sales girl to understand, is it's more than just what it costs per month, okay? It's going to make sense to me. It doesn't matter. I mean, the price does matter, but the price versus what you get versus common sense versus what you're paying now, it's all relevant. I could be a multi-millionaire and I wouldn't want to get the biggest plan, because it doesn't apply to what my business is right now, right? And keep in mind that if I go in on the core package, right, then I can always step up, But if you go in on the middle package, well, stepping down would probably be, it would be a challenge, especially in this scenario, because of the fact that the core package, you cannot put your expenses in. Now, I don't know what company or business is going to do the core package if you can't put your expenses in. And then, the sales girl said, well, you can always just keep a side note of your expenses. And I'm like, that defeats the whole purpose of getting a more streamlined software, right? I mean, it's the equivalent, and I'm gonna break it down in landscaping terms. It's the equivalent of me starting my business, right? And me going out and buying a $90,000 truck, and I ain't got the first yard yet. And then me turning around and buying a and then me turning around and buying $18,000 lawnmower, $7,000 trailer, and and all the stuff, and spending all this money, and I don't have the first lawn care customer yet. And that's what I'm equating that to, right? Because of the fact that they want me to take on a software that's that's costs more money, and I don't know, but I was getting a little bit irritated with the girl, and she's a nice girl, she's a great salesman, and everything, but my business is not in a place right now to where I'm wanting to spend that kind of money for what I'm getting. It doesn't matter if I have the money or not. That's irrelevant. And see, a lot of salespeople, they get lost in the good of their particular software or their particular what they're selling. And that's fine if they believe in their product. That's great. I love it. I believe in my product, right? So the difference was going to be, and let's talk about the money now. So the difference was going to be from the core package to at $600 for a year, that the middle package was going to be $1,500, almost $1,600 for a year. That's quite a difference, okay, on a software that I don't know. And they offer, and she, goes and tells me, they offer a lot of support and blah, 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 blah. And if I do the middle one, right, then at the sale price, it's going to be $1,600, for the year. Of course, I got to come off that money right now. And then, but moving forward after that, the software is $169 a month. Okay, I'm not saying that that's expensive or not expensive. It's expensive for what I need software for right now today. And I just kind of want to run it by you guys and make sure that I'm not out there in left field no damn where. I mean, to me, it's just, it's like I said about the truck and the equipment and all. It seems to me that they would, offer the expense input into the basic software. Then people can learn the software, and then they can see other ways to apply the software to their business and then they may think, of a way that they can incorporate the next step up, the $169 from the $69 plan. But see, the way it's laid out, a lot of people, and me included, I'll be honest, I'll be first to say it, I'm never going to see if I'm going to like the software or not. I'm never going to see that, because I'm not willing to commit to $1,600 up front, and then after that $169 a month for software. And I'm certainly not willing to do the basic software where you can't put your expenses in. I mean, I don't even know why to even offer that. And it ain't a dig at Jobber or nothing. It's just, I'm just telling you what me and the sales girl talked about yesterday. And I want to give her the sale. I want her to get the sale. But they're making it impossible for me to do that. Think about what I'm saying here, So then she's got all her sales tactics, and she's sincere. And I know it's great software. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the quality of the software and what it can and can't do, that's, is what it is. I mean, it's great. But I'll never know how great it is because they won't let me come in on the bottom core package. And the reason why I won't go in on the bottom core package is because I can't put my expenses in. And I don't know what business would even do that. So then she says, well, I'll tell you what, I can do blah, blah, blah. And it was a more discounted price. You know, I can do blah, blah, blah for the first 3 months on the middle package. And, you know, you can try it out for 3 months. And then, you know, you can see what, you know, what you like about it or whatever. And then if you don't like it, you can go down to the core package. And I thought for a second, that sounds good on the surface. It really does. I mean, she's doing everything she can to get the sale. I get it. I love it. But I frankly just told her, look, you could give me the middle software for free for 90 days and I wouldn't do it. Because what the salesman is not saying and what they're not telling, and she's not being deceitful or nothing, is the process to put all the customers and everything into the new software. See, once you do that, then for me, once I do that, then I'm committed to the software. I'm committed to keeping it. That's the only reason why I ain't changed software now. It's because it ain't because of money. It's because of the time, energy, and effort it takes to move the customers from one software to another. But I told her, you could give me that software and I would say no. Because, I mean, give it to me for the first 9 days. She said, well, I can give it to you for 90 days for blah, blah dollars. And I'm like, well, that's better. But then I got thinking about, you got to think about the bigger picture. Right? Okay, and what happens after 90 days and I don't like it? Then I done spent all my time, energy, and effort incorporating new customers into a software that I don't even, that I'm not going to use. And that takes time, not to mention the couple of hours that I've already vested in, you know, them talking to me and, you know, with the sales and all. Nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, you know, I don't mind, you know, and what about them, right? That lady spent all that time on the phone here and you ain't gonna buy nothing? I'm not. Because of the simple fact of the fine print. I mean, I don't know. If y'all think I'm petty, just let me know, man. I know a lot of haters are gonna think I'm petty. But the software has got to work for my business, and I'm sure it will, you know. But I kept going back to her and saying, well, I'm definitely not going to do the core package because you can't put expenses in, and the middle package has all these add-on features that are cool, but they're not you know, to me in my business where I'm at right now and the limited knowledge that I have on the software, I'm not willing to commit that because I don't know enough about the software. I don't know, you know, how I can make the software save me time and all. I don't know all that right now, and it may be the best. It might be the best $1,500 I ever spent to pay for the middle one in advance. Could be. But I'll never know. See, to me, these sales and Jobber's I mean, it's a top-rate software. It is. You know, from all the reviews and from everything that she explained to me over the phone on the Zoom call last week, and you know, and then even yesterday I was on the phone with her for an hour and a half, and I kept telling her, we kept going back to the same thing. Look. The core package does not have, you know, expense input. It can't track my expenses. What software does that, y'all? I mean, I'm just curious. Who's going to buy any software that doesn't keep up with your money? That doesn't keep up with your expenses? I mean, basic freaking software has got to do that. I mean, that's a basic thing, you know. To me, a lawn landscape service industry software, their basic package, the basic software should be, of course, keep up with your money and the scheduling and be able to run reports and invoice. And of course, your expenses. And that's, you know, and that's where I'm at, man. And I couldn't seem to get her to understand, or she didn't want to understand, or she just kept going, well, that's why everybody goes with this middle package. But see, I don't do what everybody else does. You know, I don't go out and you know, spend big money on stuff up front and then be stuck with that big money purchase perpetually when I didn't believe in it in the beginning. I didn't believe it was the right thing in the beginning. And like I told her, you could give it to me for free for 90 days and I wouldn't do it. I say no. Well, really, man, you that's crazy, man. If they give it to you free for 90 days, that's a waste of that will be a waste of my time. Because 90 days is not going to be enough time for me to, especially going from now to 90 days from now, that's not going to be, I'm not going to have enough movement on the software to really even be learning it that great. And what the sales girl is not understanding is it takes time, energy, and effort for me to incorporate a software into the business, or vice versa, or whatever. A lot of time. A lot. And then maneuvering through the software. It's a lot. Well, we got coaches and stuff. Well, I know. But it's still, that's even, okay, you got coaches. That's going to help me. That's great. Love it. But I still got to call them. I still got to set up a meeting for a Zoom time. I still got to do all that. And then I still got to put it in. And I still got to pay $170 a month after the 90 days or after whatever if they gave it to me for free. I don't know, man. And again, Jobber, I'm not coming down on Jobber. Jobber's a great software. But I think Jobber is missing out on a whole plethora of people that are like me, that are really small and that are, you know, trying to, you know, get into where they need software. And $170 a month, that's where you start out at if you want software that'll do everything. That'll do, I mean, it seems to me that if Jobber had a plan, the $69 plan, and they made it $80 or $90 or whatever, right? And they made it where you could put the expenses in and none of the other stuff that the second tier has, then I would have bought a year of it yesterday up front. And I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try for a year. But I can't even do that because of can't put your expenses in. So Jobber is really knocking their self out of a lot of people that see that very basic thing and they never even try the software. They never even try Jobber. You know, and if you don't get people to try Jobber, then how do you get long-term customers with Jobber? I'm just saying. Everybody's not as savvy and technologically advanced and all that some that other people are. People have to work up to that. And if you don't offer the expenses on the bare bottom package, then you're missing out on a whole plethora of business owners that want to get software, that want to try software, but just can't commit to $170 a month off the top when they don't know nothing about the software. Something to think about. And I know this video may seem like it's a little down in Jobber, but it's really not. It's telling you the truth of my experience that I had, that I've having with Jobber right now. And I like their software. It does a lot of cool stuff. a lot of handy stuff. But I just don't see it, you know, as something that I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and the sale is over and everything, and if they decide to go up a little bit on the number, you know, then you got to go up with them. And see, if I already think I'm going in high, then if they go up any, I'm going to be freaking out. And I'm not saying it's not worth it. So it's a given that the core bottom package, I can't do it, because my accountant would flip out if I went to her at the end of the year with an expense sheet where I done had to hand write everything. I don't do that. And pay twice as much for the software that I am using. Who would do that? I don't know. But Jobber's not giving me a chance, see, to try their software, to share a love about their software, you know. And I don't see, unless you're doing, you know, $500,000 a year and got 5 or 6 crews, I don't see the Jobber software being that great for you, because it doesn't keep up with the expenses. Well, Ray, $170 a month ain't that bad, man, for software. It is when I'm used to paying $30 a month. You know, it is when I think about all the time, energy, and effort it took for me to incorporate all my customers from my old software to the software I'm using now. And I can only imagine that I'll have to go through the same 2-day process to get all the customers into the Jobber software. And I know this video is getting lengthy and long, but I'm not a professional freaking, you know, YouTuber or nothing. I'm not a professional anything. I'm a landscaper out here, and I just want to share with you guys my experience that I had with Jobber, you know, in the last week. And I had every intention of using Jobber, of paying up front for Jobber, but I don't see how I can. Do you see how I can? Would you do it? You guys know, you know, the nature of my business. You guys know the scheduling and stuff. You guys know about the kind of money that we make. You guys know about what it costs for me to run the business. You guys know, you know, what expenses and stuff go along with this business. And could you imagine, after a year of me paying twice as much that I pay now, and it not keeping up with my expenses, how crazy it would be, and how much longer it would take for me to factor in my expenses? I couldn't even run reports on where the business is. And I don't expect Jobber to change how they're doing things. You know, they can do whatever they want to do, but I would plead with Jobber, and I would say to Jobber that, hey, y'all, you know, there's a whole team of people that you guys are missing because of the way your plans are structured, and there's only 3 plans. Just saying. And I think that they're missing out on a whole lot of potential customers, because I may, if I could, you know, come in with the core package. I can't because of the expense thing, but if I could come in with a core package and they offer the expenses on the core package, take something else away, but not the expense tracking, and then I could learn the software, and then I could see, damn, if I got that other package, I could do this, this, and that with the software. But I'll never know. And there's a million other guys just like me that'll never know. So I know I keep talking about the same thing over and over again, but that's where I'm at, man. And it's a little bit frustrating for me, I will say. And Jobber, if you watch this video, I love you guys. You know, the sales girl was awesome, you know, and, you know, she can only do what she can do. Y'all are tying their hands. Just saying, you know. And maybe at some point in the future, I'll be able to say, okay, I'll do the middle one. But I don't see how I ever can, because I'm never going to learn the software. And every software is a little bit different. And you got to put more emphasis on what it takes from the business owner to incorporate your software into their business. I know we talk about well, you save this much time doing this, you save this much time doing that, you save this much time, but initially, you got to get them in the door, man. And how do you get them in the door coming in that expensive? You know, $170 a month. When guys are out here, that can't afford that. And it doesn't really matter what anybody really thinks, about my financial situation. I can afford it if I wanted to. But the reason I can't afford things is because I don't make knucklehead long-term moves, uneducated guesses. Because if I spend $1,600 for the first year, and that's the sale price of the middle tier, then it goes without saying that I'm going to spend days incorporating the software into my business, or vice versa, and then I'm going to spend there's going to be a lot of frustrating times moving forward learning the software. Well, we got a team that'll help you, but I still got to take the time to do all that. And it may be great. I just don't think that a lot of guys are going to sign up for the middle tier coming in the door, especially to pay in advance. If you pay in advance, it's a little bit cheaper. But it ain't, if you're going from no software or a relatively cheap software at, $30 a month to $170 a month, well, it's not that much right now, but see, it's going to be. Well, you can drop it. You can drop the software then. Yeah, but then I got to go through the same thing again. And the only reason why I haven't gotten other software up to this point with the software I got now, because it has a lot of frustrating little things going on with it. The only reason why I haven't, it isn't about money. It's about the time, energy, and effort, and to streamline the process of taking my customers from this software to another software. And then you factor in what it's going to cost. And I'll be damned if I'm going to pay twice as much than I'm paying right now for a software that does half of what my software does now. Doesn't make sense. And if Jobber wants long-term people, and I'm nobody special, unique, or needy, but if they want long-term people that's in it to win it for the foreseeable future, then they need to offer on that bottom tier the expenses. Take something else out. But that is a selling mechanism that a lot of people will say, well, hell, I guess I'll have to. And I don't know of anybody that would do the bottom tier with no expenses. I don't know. What business are you running if you don't have any expenses? I don't know. Do they offer an add-on where they can pay a few more dollars, 10 or 15, even 20 more dollars per month more to add on the expenses? But see, the expense thing should be in the bare basic bottom package. If the expense tracking or, to be able to keep up with your expenses is not in the basic software, then it's not software. It's not, I mean, to me, the basic software package, there's 4 parts of a basic software package, okay? Number 1 is scheduling, right? Number 2 is invoicing, right? Number 3 is expenses. And number 4 is running reports. So if the expenses is a quarter of the main 4 things that a basic software should have, then charge accordingly. Charge 25% more or whatever to get that. And then I guarantee you will have a lot more people come in on the bottom floor. And that will in turn make it where you have a lot more people going to the next level. Because now they're comfortable with it. Now they understand what Jobber can do. Now they're like, oh, wow, I can make it do this, 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 and that now. You know, and it didn't cost them a fortune. $170 a month, that's half a truck payment. That's a good chunk of a mower payment. Just saying, y'all. You know,